And once again, my dear sisters and brothers, I don't know if you have listened closely and carefully to the first reading coming from the book of Genesis, because this coincides with our celebration tomorrow. Although Valentine's Day is not a Catholic celebration, but it reminds us that love is in the air. And why is it? Why am I saying that it coincides with the celebration tomorrow of the Valentine's Day? Because the first part of the book of Genesis, or today's reading, says that it is not good for the man to be alone. It is not good for us to be alone. And probably some of you are thinking right now, how about you, Father? You cannot marry. Kawawa ka naman. Hindi naman po. We are doing good. We are doing well. I am happy with my life. But it is not good for man to be alone. And this is a very important phrase because this reminds how much God cares all of us. He loves all of us, that He does not want to see us living alone, and He wanted to see us with a companion. And again, some of you who are still single probably are saying, Father, I don't really worry a lot about being single because even if I am alone, I am okay. That's right, because we can live being single, but still we cannot live alone. Imagine if there's no people around us, how can we be happy? If there's no people around us, how can we find our food? Who can do the other things that we need that we cannot do? We need to have people with us, and that's why God created another human being so that all of us will be happy and will live a good life. And in the case of Christians, for us Catholics, God made it all the more good because He created and gave us the sacraments. What are the sacraments? What does it mean? What is a sacrament? A sacrament are signs and symbols of God's presence among us. That's why in the first reading, there was Adam and then there was Eve. And God instituted the sign of marriage, which is a sacrament. And each time we remember a union of a man and of a woman, we remember how much God actually desired that we will never be alone. Kayo mga loveless dyan, don't worry if you are loveless, because you are loved. God has been sending you many people around you. It may not be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a husband or a wife, but God knows how to send people to you so that you will never be alone. Our gospel today is quite strange, quite different from the first reading. Why? Because it talks of an outsider, a woman who never thinks actually that she is alone despite being an outsider. Napakahirap kaya maging tagalabas. It's quite difficult to be unrecognized as part of a people or a group of people. Why? What happened? Because this woman is non-Jewish. She's an outsider, and her daughter is possessed by a demon. Knowing the fact that she is an outsider, she still insisted and persistent in her prayer that Jesus would hear her pleadings, that the demon would go out of her daughter. But what happened? Here, in the gospel today, Jesus was a little strict sounding. Why? For us Filipinos, it's quite difficult to hear such a word coming from Jesus, no such response. When the woman asked her, Jesus said, let the children be fed first. What does Jesus want to say? Let the Israelites, let the Jews have their share of the meal first before you. Yeah, he said, for it is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs. Imagine an outsider being called a dog. It's painful for us. But for this woman, she did not care because she fully understood that she is an outsider. But what made Jesus actually heed the call of this woman, heed the pleading of this woman? It was because she was persistent in her prayer. My dear sisters and brothers, God could not resist the pleadings of a mother. God could not really say no to a prayer of a mother, though she was an outsider. Because of her humility and perseverance, she constantly asked Jesus to heal her daughter who was possessed by a demon. If you want to be heard like this mother in the gospel today, this is the secret. Pray, ask, and seek like her. You have to seek like her, and surely your prayers too will be heard by God. Because when you are humble in your prayers, when you admit, okay, I'm not probably the closest one to you, I may not be the best of your children, O Lord, but my heart is filled with humility, and I'm asking you because I believe that you alone can heal and can give me whatever is it that I want. In fact, Saint Augustine is saying, if you want to pray and to be heard, the secret is this. You have to admit first that you are a sinner. You have to admit first that you are lacking in something, so that the Spirit of God can enter into you and you will be converted. And once converted, you can easily believe that God's power has authority over all that matters to us. Okay, my dear brothers and sisters, as I end my sharing today, I hope that you will be humble enough before God. Do not tell God that you know everything. Do not tell God that you are the best among all others. Be humble before Him, and for sure, even though you are not perfect, you will be perfected by Him and be heard by Him each time you pray.